Ever since I unlocked the Bunny Day Vanity recipe in Animal Crossing, I've felt like a pretty cool guy. So I'm going to translate some of that cool guy technique on a guitar. What we're going to do today is going to sound like this. Okay, so really we're going to focus on the center two strings on a 6-string guitar. I'm rocking the Ernie Ball Albert Lee today. And we're going to focus on the key of D, which is the key of 2020, but really just the D and the G strings, okay? Just different things you can do. So, you can kind of use scales to do this, but really it's just going to be a group of patterns you can kind of run up and down the neck, no matter what key you're in, all right? So there are 7 main chords in any key of D, right? Now we're going to just do 2-note versions of those all throughout the neck, just like this, okay? So the first one we're going to do is going to be really just a D power chord. All right, now the first thing I was doing, I was kind of playing like a D major. But we're going to add those little kind of in-between chords to all of this, right? So again, think of D major for the first one, even though it's just a D power chord if it's open D and 2G, right? The next one from here is going to be the 2nd fret, which is an E. And we're just going to make that a power chord too, right? So 2D and 4G. Now the next chord, we're just going to switch our fingers, right? So now your ring finger or pinky, however you want to play it, goes from 4G to 4D. And then your pointer finger goes to 2G. Now this is going to be a root and a minor third. Okay, so the chords representative of what we're playing is going to be D major, E minor, F sharp minor. Even though it's not a full minor chord, it's a F sharp and then it's minor third. So this shape is going to be something that we're going to need further down the neck. All right. After this, we're going to go to the 5th fret on the D string, and it's major third. Okay. So this right here, the 5th fret on the D string, is a G note, and then when you have your pointer finger on the 4th fret of the G string, that's going to be like a G major chord. Next up is going to be A major, 7D, 6G. So again, this shape is super movable, especially on these 2 strings here. Now what I'm doing, I'm just kind of playing this finger style. I'm just plucking the D and the G string. You can do the same thing with a pick, however you want to do it, right? But eventually we're going to do that, and then we're going to go to the 9th fret, that minor shape, again, where there's 2 frets. So my ring finger is 9D, pointer finger is 7G. The next one, right here, C sharp, same thing, but now 11 and 9, and then back to D. Okay, so we can kind of play like a mini chord scale all throughout these strings. Now, there's really an infinite amount of things you can do with just that. I would really kind of urge you to be able to do that forward and backwards. However you want to do it. You can kind of skip around if you want. But once you kind of really visualize those and be able to jump back and forth between them, you'll become a super cool guy. All right, now I want to do something where we use a little bit of the same idea note-wise, but use the open strings to help us out. Okay, so again, I said that we're in the key of D. Now, I think it's also good to know just maybe like a basic major scale type shape. Like in D, if you root it on the 5th fret of the A string, you go 5A to 7A, 4D, 5D, 7D, 4G, 6G, 7G. Again, if you want to learn a little bit more about the scale shapes and stuff, check out the course that I made on this. I'll link you in the description. It's on sale right now. So we can take some of these notes. Let's just kind of focus in on the D string 5 to 7 and the G string 6 to 7, okay? So those are just notes that I took from that D major scale shape. But now let's start using some of the open strings to help us out, right? So open D is a note that we already know is in here. You can do like a hammer-on from open to 5 to 7. Just like that, right? And then we'll use the open G string to go open 6, 7. Open 5, 7, open 6, 7. Okay, so back and forth. There you go, just like that. So now we can start maybe incorporating some of those like little mini chords, those 2-note dyad chords, and then kind of add a little riff in between. So what I want to do is I want to take that D major, and I'm just going to, for the purpose of this, grab the 3rd fret on the B string to make it more of a D-ish chord, because it is 2020 after all. And then I'm going to jump into that riff, okay? So D. And then I'm going to grab the two major chords that are sitting right in this area, which again, when we went through the chord scale, we have the A to the G. All right, so again, you don't have to think of these as chord names. Think of these as a root note, and then it's major third, rooted on the 7th fret and the 5th fret. It's really great if you can know that this is an A and this is a G. That'll help you out immensely down the road, but just kind of get that. Slide back. So we've got that D chord, just like that. All right. Now again, you can kind of slow down certain parts. I like doing it with these fingers. When you have the pointer finger to the ring finger, because then you can just pivot to get to that next spot. Okay? And then percussively, you know, I'm kind of getting the chord, and then I'm getting an upstroke on the chord too, and then a mute. So D, up, mute. And the second time I can just maybe stay on the second chord. Now again, this isn't about learning that riff or lick or whatever you want to call it. It's about being able to see these and make your own, right? Let's maybe do something different. Do the same, but go higher up the neck. All right, so let's do two of the minor ones. So we've got that D, the riff, and then 9 to 11 with the minor third. Okay, so. Then go to the major one. Minor, right? So it's really just being able to see, all right, major, major, minor. Now again, this right here, I want to take a quick second just to talk about the 11th fret on the D string and its minor third. This is actually not going to be a minor chord in this key. This is going to be a diminished or half diminished chord. Just because, again, in this key, C sharp, minor 7 flat 5 is always going to be the 7th degree. Again, don't worry so much about that. You can treat that as a root note and its minor third. It's always going to sound good. And then end up where you started essentially, which is D to D. So I think it's kind of like a cool idea to be able to jump just through the neck. You don't even have to add any of the hammer-on stuff. You can really just kind of like take this and go back through. I was just jamming on in between. What I'm thinking of is the D shape, the 7 chord, the 6 chord, the 5 chord, back. This is kind of paint by numbers at that point. That's why it's really important to understand the numbers and scale degrees of any key. Again, all that means is just like there's 7 notes in a key, so any of those notes can become a chord. It's either major, minor, or diminished. We can run through the whole chord scale thinking of them as numbers. So we're going to do it once as numbers, and then once as the actual chord that it's representing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1 again. 8 and 1 are the same chord. It's just D to D, right? Or D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, C sharp, minor 7 flat 5, back to D. So being able to kind of go back and forth between those, thinking of them as numbers, I think is actually even more valuable than knowing the names of all of them off the bat, just because numbers are transferable to absolutely anything that you could ever do, right? You can do the whole thing on the A and the D string if you want, and do something in the key of A, right? Because we'd have A as being the 1. Now I'm just moving everything a string lower, right? So A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. You do the exact same thing. So A. Everything has just been moved to a different thing. That's what's great about knowing the open strings, knowing the other notes in the keys of the open strings, and kind of being able to move them around, right? So, again, D is the 1 for our purposes right here. And then always knowing where the 1, 4, and 5 are going to be helpful in most genres of music. Again, I'm a little classier, a little more alternative than that. So I kind of go 1 to 4 to 3 to 7, just because I like to mix it up. That's my style. That's what I'm all about. So, anyways, thanks for checking it out. If you have any questions or comments, hit me in the comment section. Instagram, Twitter, the website. Definitely make sure to take that class, show some love, show some support, and I'll talk to all you guys soon. Thanks a lot.